Oh, please. Hi.
Splash in the coffee. Belgian waffles. Belgian waffles.
The fact that the camera is on and I'm sitting here and you're able to view it on the channel does not mean that I'm back. I want to be crystal clear about that. Yes. Okay. Could you relax, crows, honestly? Ugh. Welcome to The Raven. Well, that wouldn't, for crows, make sense, but it feels like I'm in a, right, campy horror or, Halloween-y with the crows. It feels like I'm in, so you can put your own joke in there, but Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Feels like I'm in with the crows. Take it easy. The fact that I'm sitting here in front of a camera does not change the fact that it's over. It's over. I'm not back, right? Little update. So I posted a year ago a video of me traveling for work. That was about a year ago, and I made it very clear. I wanted to make content that was so uninspired, so pointless, that the only responsible thing to do would be to shut my whole thing down. And I figured, I don't know who runs YouTube, but I figured somebody at YouTube who has to review all the stuff on YouTube, and just off the top of my head, I would guess it's Rhett and Link, or the Try Guys, or the guy who does magic on Vine would be Zach King. So I figured he maybe had something to do with it. Or who's the girl that I'm thinking of? She makes coffee now or something. But back in the day, she had a very popular style. You know what I'm talking about? Emma Chamberlain. Does she make coffee now? I think she does. I don't want to be corrected if that's not what she does. But anyway, I think one of them or Brooklyn and Bailey, somebody is looking at the content on YouTube. Is YouTube even a thing anymore? That's also a good question to ask. I don't hear Gen Alpha kids talking about I'm watching YouTube. They're watching Twitch, probably not. They're on TikTok. They are playing Fortnite. How do they know about stuff? Like, how do they know about Baby Gronk? How do they get that? I guess they all have phones as part of it. How do they know about, do they know about Gronk? Is the other thing. So that was a year ago. YouTube did not reach out. YouTube did not shut me down. And I guess they just are running a teenage wasteland, a sort of media cesspool of just whatever. You can put anything on there now. So that doesn't mean that I'm abandoning my mission. This video, as a matter of fact, is still a submission to get me shut down. Because this is almost nothing. Just shy of no content material at all. Matter of fact, I should, real quick, I so don't care about this that I don't even know if my camera's recording right now. So let me check, because I didn't check to see what the battery was at. Well, it is recording against, the better, of the universe. It should be shut. But a lot happened in that year. You can tell I don't care to tell you any of it, because I didn't update you at all. It's been a year. Why do people even watch these? I got married. That's one. So I did a lot of jobs, like the job I did. Saved it, married it. Married a woman. And then I moved. So I moved from hometown, that you'll never be allowed to know, my little secret, to big city, New Orleans. And look at this house. This beats my car, which I've always had a house, just so I was never living in the car, even when I was making a lot of videos in the car. But look, I got a basil plant. It's not doing super good right now, because the cold snap, and also I haven't figured out water with the basil yet. So I can't figure out if I'm overdoing it but inside the warmth of the home. But it's not that warm in the home. Why is that? Next point. Having a coffee right now, wearing a big bulky sweater with a neck bit and a flannel under that. And you say to yourself, you're in New Orleans, isn't it supposed to be, Mardi Gras should never ever do that. That's a trumpet. Isn't it supposed to be Mardi Gras weather down there? Aren't you? Which even that can be cold, by the way. But isn't it supposed to be, warm in the big sleazy? Could you also make that catch on, by the way? Because I want that. Nobody's calling it's the Big Easy, and nobody's calling it the Big Sleazy. I think it's really funny, and nobody's doing it. Yeah, do the comments. But anyway, I don't know why it gets so cold here, but it does. Maybe because we're below sea level. Maybe, I think that the wind comes up off the water, and then we're below sea level, and it spirals inside, and it super cools, but only in the winter. Plus, also, it's just muggy here always, even when there's no rain or what is the hot version of rain, like humidity. So that muggy becomes wet, cold muggy. Maybe like Seattle. I don't know anything though. I really don't. So I'm just saying it's kind of cold outside and our heater broke. So welcome to my fireside chat, because since there's no heat, that's not exactly accurate. The thermostat broke. So because I can now no longer communicate with my heater when I'm putting in request after request to make it 70 degrees. So I'm doing the oven on, right? Very cottagecore. And a big bulky sweater, having a coffee, very cottagecore. Did have to take a Zoom call earlier today, which made me feel less cottagecore, but and people make content like this year round. Generally, the Pioneer Woman is who I'm talking about, and I think she and I would not get along, and I do think she's kind of cornered the market on it. Between the Pioneer Woman and what do we call them, the trad wives of Instagram, and me right now, I'm actually kind of a trad wife if you get to know me. A lot of baking. All my Instagram is baking recipes. Homemade bread, 4 ingredients. All you need is active yeast, salt, flour. Did I say 4 ingredients? Doing a very cottagecore lifestyle today, except that Zoom call, like I said. It's not actually it's a gas oven, so it's not really a fireside chat. It's a gas. There's not a big fire. It's not an organic fire. It's a propane. But a gas side chat, sort of a chat by the gaslight. Nope. I'm gaslighting you. But all of that just feeds into the bigger point, which is, I have no updates. Doing this coffee, by the way, not by any way, just a different note entirely, is a Christmas blend. So it's got red and green peppercorns in it, and I just should know myself better than to know that I don't like flavored coffee. But got it, working through it. I will say, just so that this video has any point at all, I can just make a couple of points that have been on my mind recently. I will say that number one, or maybe I should. Anyway, okay. This is not. I'm just gonna. Just because I don't think that this video as it sits right now is enough to get people, really active enough to let me be done with this whole thing. So, here's a take that I believe in. I think you guys are overreacting to the whole Netflix Warner Brothers thing. How bad could it be, right? What's so great about having more companies, more sort of free market diversity to who is making the content that gets greenlit, produced, distributed, and shown to us? I say, tighten it down, okay? What's so great about Warner Brothers? What have they ever done that's so good? And I'm speaking on behalf of all actors and all writers and the better part of all directors. So I think we all, you guys, it's nice that you were up in arms for our sake, but it's not that bad, I think there's a lot of positives. I think there's a lot of good things to look forward to. One, does this mean that we will get to watch, if you have a Netflix subscription, you get to watch more Warner Brothers? Okay, probably not, but that shouldn't discourage us from being pro this. Two, is this a bad thing for unions? Yes, right? So let's celebrate that. Unions are so overbearing. I'm not part of any, and that has everything, and that's because they're trying to keep me out. 2, 3, Netflix famously just a monolith of only quality programming and never missing. We love that about them. They know their audiences / they know that there's like weird people for everything. And if you're watching this from Netflix, Warner, you know, or whatever we're gonna call you now, Netflix, you know, hire me. Not only am I a scab and sort of a bad thing for work, like, you know, consumer rights and workers' rights and all that, I have no scruples. I really have no morals. You want to hire me to be an actor? Great. Like, do you want me to promote you? Yeah, sure. Go get Netflix. Everybody should, you know, get it. Get all of it. Get all of them. Get Paramount. Even though I think they're anti-free speech or whatever. Get them all. So that's my take. And if it bothers you, shut me down. All right, I'm gonna zoom out a little bit. Some of that was facetious. I'm not excited about this Netflix thing. But who cares? Who cares what I think? They didn't ask me before they did the merger in the first place. So, and I have Netflix, and I've seen a hell of a lot of Warner Brothers movies too. This feels. Ooh, it's not recording? No, it did not. This feels counter to what the Animaniacs were all about regarding the Netflix thing. It just doesn't feel like what Wacko, Warner, and the other two were all about. The holidays are coming up, all of them. Here in this house, you're going to see a lot of, there's a lot of what would be reminiscent of the Just Christian Christmas, but that doesn't mean that, we're all of them are happening and we're pro it. So happy holidays, happy non-denominational, non-religious tree, happy snowflakes, could be anything, happy ribbons, right? That could be anything, it doesn't have to be. Holidays are coming. Did you see the dog show? You even see me? I feel like dark in here. I didn't do anything for the lights, obviously. What was I on about? I was ranting about the dog show. Did you see the dog show? It gets weirder every year. This year there was a section about the dogs in their life of a showgirl era. There was some stuff, obviously, like it happens on Thanksgiving Day. If you don't know that the dog show happens on Thanksgiving Day, what are you doing on this channel? That's like one of the few things that I know. And that this channel we all know. As are we like a group? No, is the answer. So before anybody in the comments thinks that you're part of a community, you're not. That's one of the things that we all collectively that are part of this know. The dog show's on Thanksgiving. Not a whole lot to get excited about on Thanksgiving. Now, I like Thanksgiving. Don't get me wrong. If for no other reason than it is up to the goth kids on Halloween to keep Christmas from creeping any further up in the year than it already is. And there is that's the first line of defense, if that makes sense. That is sort of what am I thinking of? The Romans with this, or the Spartans or whatever. The phalanx. I think that's it. And then if you get past that, which Christmas already has, then there's the Thanksgiving people. I am part of the fold. I am there. That was a solidarity fest, and I don't ascribe too much glory to those of us who celebrate Thanksgiving. Kind of a tricky, morally speaking, holiday. And what do I celebrate it for? Certainly not history. I barely even know the history. I know what's important, which is, I don't see what's so great that we made a holiday. But what do I celebrate on this special day? I celebrate brown-colored food items, bread and meat finding a home together. Hot fruit make it into a lot of things. Thanksgiving is a huge day for hot fruit people. I am married to a sort of almost staunchly anti-hot fruit person. But I myself, that's my day. I come on out of the woodwork because you cannot year round be pro hot fruit, cooked fruit. I get to come out on Thanksgiving and say, give me that pie, give me that cranberry, give me that whatever, pumpkin, parade. I'm pro parade. Dog show. Those are the things that are Thanksgiving. What's what I'm looking forward to? Dressing like this, actually. Those are Thanksgiving. That's what it is, Yeah, it feels like the dog show's gone off the rails a little bit. The dogs don't know what Taylor Swift is. And I was about to say, dogs don't know what holidays are, and I do wanna. No animal does, and I wanna put this out here, and I think other people have made probably smarter people than I have. Kierkegaard, who's somebody that's not just a white man. Lorraine Hansberry, or Ken Jeong. I've probably said all this before in a smarter way than I have, but dogs, cats, horses, they do not recognize the Gregorian calendar. They do not recognize the Roman Catholic influence on our holiday rotation. They do not recognize Western symbology, religion, right? I don't mean to be mean about this because I did buy my neighbor a cat advent calendar, but my neighbor is not a cat. He just participates in cat culture. The animal does not know what the holiday is. So if your animal needs something, if you're an animal haver, I'm pro that. I think we, do our part except me because I'm allergic and I'm not interested. And your animal needs something around the holidays. Don't wait until December 25th to give your animal the thing and put it in a wrapping paper and then make your animal open it, because the animal doesn't understand what it's waiting for. It will just see that you have brought in new dental treats or a saddle. Well, that's not a gift for the human, not for the horse. But it won't understand why if you got new shoes. It won't understand why if there is something it could have, why it has to wait. I mean, the animal doesn't conceptualize that the nativity of the Messiah coincides with when it gets to have its breath. What do dogs have? Breath mints. Yeah, I mean that's literally. You can tell I have nothing else to talk about. So anyway, but you should watch the dog show. I mean, it's still fun. The guys who do it are literally 8 billion years old, and then all the judges are 8 billion years old. I don't know. Take care of yourself. Because just because this seems so antagonistic doesn't mean I don't care, on some level about. So be good to yourself. All right, whatever.
Splash in the coffee.